am Jacqueline Turner. Have been a teacher for 37 years. 26 of those glorious years have been at this noble institution, Willowdene group of schools. And as a primary school teacher, teaching in the preparatory department, I teach all subjects. My favorite though is math. I don't know if it's because as a child I did not like math because of how it was taught. Because I realized that if math is taught properly, students will love it. And I don't want them to grow not to love it like I did. Funny, I have never wanted to be a teacher. I'm still wondering how I reached here, because as a child growing up, it was always my desire to be a nurse. But then I started out in the public profession as a social worker. And where I was working, there were a lot of what we call corruption, and I didn't feel comfortable. And I just walked away from it. Close to month end, I just walked away from it and I said to the Lord, no, I don't think this is what you want me to be, because it's hard to really live the Christian life in this atmosphere. And I went further to say to him, I would love for the rest of my life to work for you and your church. So hence, I started this journey by being asked to help with Vacation Bible School at my church. It was the first Vacation Bible School they were having, and I was asked to help with Vacation Bible School. The coordinator for Vacation Bible School had in mind to start a nursery and basic school, but she had no training whatsoever. And by being there, she observed how I moved around the children, and she told me her intentions and said her only concern was that she didn't have the experience and she didn't have anybody who knew it. And she said, but here, God give you the answer, you are the person. I said, me? I'm not really a trained teacher or whatever. And she said, boy, how you deal with the children, it's a gift, and she would love for me to. And so that's where it started, at this person's, well, it is, she's Enid Loans. It started at her carport, and parents were enthused, and in no time, a number of members from the community started sending their children. That is where it really started. Yes. I realized that there is something special about Seventh-day Adventist Christian Education, in that students are prepared not just to live in this world, but they are prepared to live in the world to come. And you have an opportunity to integrate your faith in your teaching. So this experience helps you while you are teaching the children. You are also doing evangelism, because when those young minds are, they grasp truth as in God's word, they can help their parents, which I have seen by experience, where they have helped their parents to love and know about God by sharing what they have learned at school. Especially in these times where the homes, even the Seventh-day Adventist homes, seem to be failing. Parents are so busy, they don't really have time to share the word with the students and so on. So school sort of have to double up home and school. And especially, you have some children that even going to church after the COVID experience. They are just they just stay at home and so on. So they don't really have that fellowship and so on. So it is really important and necessary where children can learn the faith and practice. We also live in a society where children are taught that creation is destined. And so when you can, with every subject, point them to the Bible and show where God is involved in every subject area, God is involved in everything we do, then it will automatically become a part of the child's life when you make this. A case in point, the other day we were doing integrated studies with the students, and we were talking about we were talking about families and family life and worship and so on. And this little girl, out of the blue, she just said, Miss, that is what God did in the Garden of Eden. When God came down to Adam and Eve, He would worship with them, grade 1. He would worship with them. So worship really started with God, and I was really taken aback. And I said, very good, that's it. So God the Creator started with worship, and He made us to worship. And we have to worship something or someone. And so God set the example to show that He is the one that we ought to worship. So as families, we should make family worship a part of life. So you can imagine a child going home like with that to their parents, and this is a non-Adventist child. So the influence spoke value. To achieve success, you have to get instruction from the master teacher, Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter how much, because when I entered this profession, as I said earlier, it was a calling. I didn't have any training in teaching. But with constant communication with Jesus, He told me exactly what to do. So if we are going into the teaching profession, especially as Christian, especially as Seventh-day Adventist Christian, we have to ensure that it's not just what we get at school, but to ensure that the master teacher, Jesus Christ, is our principal. I have realized that teaching is not just a job, but it's a calling. And as the servant of the Lord says that education and redemption, the work of education and redemption are one, I realize that just as how He calls persons to ministry, pastoral ministry, He calls you to teaching. And once you are called and answer that call, it will be a fulfilling mission.